Trenton 365 with Jacque Howard. Profiling the businesses, organizations, and people that make Trenton better.
You know what the easy thing that's already set up?
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Trenton 365 show. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You're listening over WIMG 1300. And if you caught me, I was pulling this out, the three-time Stellar Award-winning station, WIMG 1300. And you're listening over WIMG 1300, of course, and you're watching over WPHY Channel 25, covering Mercer County, New Jersey. In the studio with me, I have Roz and Jennifer from PEI Kids, and we're going to be talking about the spring annual dinner and auction. And we're going to get into all the details. You may remember Roz from being on the show last year at about this time as well. So, ladies, welcome to the Trenton 365 show.
Well, thanks for having us, John.
Fantastic. It's my pleasure. So, of course, I always like for everyone to introduce themselves and share a little bit about who they are and how they got involved in the organization. Roz, we'll let you go first since you are in that executive position.
Well, yes, I'm Roz Dashiell. I'm the executive director for PEI Kids, and I've been with the agency for 3 years now. I had been doing a lot of work in the nonprofit sector in Camden County, and then I had an opportunity in Mercer County, and I was really impressed with the region and the commitment to offering community services. So I really made a commitment to do some meaningful work in this Mercer County community, and then the offer came available through PEI Kids, and I learned about it through the founding executive director, Evelyn Gill. She referred me to the board, and after a long process, I ended up coming on board with PEI Kids. I've been here for 3 years now, and it's been wonderful.
That's fantastic. And Jennifer, now over to you.
Jennifer Pierson. I've been with the organization for over 4 years now. I served on the volunteer committee for the annual dinner for over 4 years and for the wine tasting. I'm also now a current board member for the past 2 years, and I got involved with the organization through Lonnie Hand, who also is a co-worker at NJM and NJM is a very big, huge sponsor of PEI Kids.
All right, so let's talk about PEI Kids as an organization. I mean, everyone likes to have good times and enjoy themselves, and it's nice that you're here talking about the event that's coming up because it's a nonprofit organization, and that's one of the ways that you raise money. But what is the organization, and what are some of the guiding principles of the organization?
Sure. PEI Kids' mission is dedicated to promoting and maintaining a safe environment for all children. And in doing that, we work with the child, with families and caregivers, and with educators to provide prevention education for children and communities, to provide intervention programs for children impacted by violence, abuse, crime, or neglect. And we also provide support programs for children in foster care. So we do provide a comprehensive set of services to children who are vulnerable and find themselves in situations where they're in a transition in their lives or where they're working through challenging situations. Our work is really based on an empowerment philosophy. We believe in empowering children about their rights to be safe, strong, and free, and then giving them the tools to work hand in hand with adults in the community to cultivate a safe environment and to handle themselves and how to handle themselves in unsafe situations.
Now, when I've had you on before, and oftentimes when we think about nonprofit organizations, we always think very, very specialized, very, very small. And I know one of the questions that I had was, who are the children that are being served by PEI Kids? Are they just inner city children in urban environments?
Right.
Is it countywide? Is it statewide? Talk about your audience a bit, please.
That's an excellent question. Actually, PEI Kids serves over 12,000 children and families each year. It's interesting because we have several programs, as I mentioned. One of our programs is an intervention program for child victims of sexual abuse. And we track the demographics for that program in particular very carefully. And we actually have clients from every single municipality in Mercer County every year. We also do our prevention education program, which is a school-based program. So we go into 65 public, private, and charter schools in Mercer County, and we present workshops to children, teaching them how to stay safe. And we present that to children in grades K through 8. So we're really doing work throughout every municipality in the county.
That's fantastic. And how long has the organization been in existence?
We were established in 1985, so we've been around for 32 years now.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the reason why I say that is it takes me back to high school days. And then I start thinking, wow, Been out of school for a long time.
I know. It gets frightening. And it's interesting because we have actually worked with generations, 3 generations of children and adults now in Mercer County over the years. So often we'll see adults coming back to some of our programs with their children to bring them to the program that made a difference in their life or that helped them turn their lives around. So it's beautiful to be in a position to see that now, how we have really impacted generations of families in the community.
That is fantastic. Roz, thank you so much for that very large expose of the history of PEI Kids.
My pleasure.
Folks, you can go to the website as well. It's PEI, just like the letters, kids, KIDS.org. There you can see all the different things that the organization is doing. You can also see some newsletter type of things about the upcoming spring event, the previous fall fundraiser events as well. Now, Jennifer, I want to swing over and talk to you a little bit because most people know that nonprofit organizations, they work in a capacity where they're driven by volunteers, people who are committed to what the organization is doing, et cetera. How did you become a part of the organization?
As I stated before, through my coworker Lonnie Hand at NJM, and NJM is a huge supporter of PEI Kids. It was phenomenal. She asked me to come in and to be a volunteer, and of course, as a mother of 2, anything that I could do to help serve in enriching and preventing child abuse with children was near and dear to my heart. Because again, prevention, also being able to provide support for children who have suffered child abuse. It was something that I felt as though I could contribute and make a difference through. So being a part of this organization, I just saw going into this organization how passionate these people were about helping this community. So it was just a natural fit for me. And after 4 years, I went a step further and became a board member. And now I am the co-chair of this year's annual dinner. So it's just phenomenal to be able to work with such a wonderful group that has such a huge impact on children.
And Roz, I think that is a true testimony to the organization. You have someone who comes in through someone else who's already volunteering, and now that person steps up into a leadership role.
Absolutely.
To co-chair an event and is serving on the board. So I think that's almost like that multi-generational thing to an extent that you were just talking about.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So what has your experience been like? I know that you're obviously passionate about it and you obviously enjoy it or you wouldn't be doing it. But what have you gotten out of this?
Well, certainly just, as I said, when I first started, it was about being involved and making a difference. But then to be able to, expand and bring others in to help this organization, it's been phenomenal just to see how this organization for years after years, they've made such a wonderful impact on this community, and just to be able to help them grow and to be able to continue with their programs and make a difference. So it's just been phenomenal.
Now, Roz, contact information for the organization, and where are your offices located?
So our offices are located in Lawrenceville, right off the Brunswick Circle. We're centrally located in the county, but we have programs that actually occur in the community in Trenton as well. So we have our Juvenile Intervention Services program there. We have a program for teens called Managing Aggression and Violence, teens who are working through issues. Our teenagers these days are really growing up in a different world than the one that you and I grew up in. And they really have a whole different set of challenges. So in that program, we really encourage mentorship and call on adults to get involved with children and to show youth the opportunities for leadership in the community and to show them what leadership looks like in the community and that it's very doable. It's important for them to see people coming in and talking to them and showing them what leadership looks like. And also to give them connections and resources in the community so that they have a network that they can turn to when they are having challenges in their daily lives. Because children who have been through difficulties, it's easy for them to close themselves off. So we want to always make sure that they have adults that they can turn to as resources and for good advice at the ready access to help them through those challenging situations. So we try to really cultivate those connections intergenerationally in the community.
Now, what was the reason behind Evelyn wanting to start this organization? I know because, it seems like it makes sense. Now, but you're talking, almost 30 years ago.
Right.
Where, it takes something to keep an organization going. But what was that initial spark, the reason for wanting to start the organization?
You know, Evelyn Gill really was a visionary. She and a colleague were volunteering at a crisis hotline for rape victims. And they were getting calls often for youth, children under 18, and they realized there were no resources in the community specifically for children to, teach them about child abuse prevention and how to keep themselves safe. And there were no intervention programs or no specialized resources to send these children to when they were victims of sexual abuse. So it was that need in that community. She's just one of those people that recognized the need and decided to do something about it. So she and a colleague around her kitchen table started this organization. So the first office was in Evelyn's kitchen table, and it grew from there. The first business address the agency had was on Hope Street in Lawrenceville, which I think is so fitting to be on a street called Hope. And then ultimately we were able to purchase the property, which is our headquarters now, at 231 Lawrence Road in Lawrenceville.
That's awesome. And the website again, folks, is PEI, Papa Echo India Kids.org, and there you can find out more about the organization and see some of the different things that are going on, especially the forthcoming spring event and then the fall event, which will be coming up soon as well. Roz and Jen, I'd like you both, Jennifer, I'd like you both to talk about some of the services that are offered to the families, and what are some of the experiences that you've heard back from the families that are involved in the programming at PEI Kids?
Well, I can talk about a couple programs. So we have one called our Juvenile Intervention Services programming, and within that department, that's the one where we really work with adolescents in the community who are working through some challenges in their lives. So we'll have youth who may be at risk of juvenile justice involvement because they're dealing with aggression or anger issues because they have no outlet for the challenges and the struggles and the frustrations that they're dealing with in life, and they often have no support, just no adult to talk to. Factually, we know that the most influential factor to a child's success is whether they have one adult that believes in them. And often, someone on our staff is that one adult. So often the kids that we deal with are coming from households where there are lots of kids in the household, resources are very thin, and they just don't have that base of support that they need, and we become that for them. So our Juvenile Intervention Services program meet once a week. We serve 120 youth through that program, ages 11 to 18. So these are kids who are at risk of juvenile justice involvement, or sometimes we'll deal with first and second time offenders in what's called our R.E.A.C.H program. And really these kids just need some direction and some opportunity. So we try to, first of all, it's a 16-week program where we give them some basic skills in communication, in violence avoidance, in conflict resolution, because they haven't learned how to deal constructively with conflict, and understanding the ways that you can show strength without necessarily showing anger. So to some extent it's a re-education, but they're young enough and resilient enough that they're at a point that we can do that, and they can learn to live within the confines of the law, respect authority, and go on to live healthy and productive lives and make better choices. And we have some wonderful success stories about kids who have come back to the program after graduating from college, to mentor kids who are currently in the program and talk about what a difference it's made for them. So that's one of my favorite programs, because we get to see young people come back and mentor other young people in their community. Jane, do you want to talk about one of our programs?
Well, one of the reasons why I got involved was because I heard I was advised that this organization is providing services free of charge for counseling of children that have been victims of child abuse. There, as Roz stated, there is such, unfortunately, a need for this type of counseling, and it's imperative that we get in there and that we are providing these services to these children of sexual abuse and assault early on to help them, to understand what's happening, what has happened to them, and help them to become productive members of society. And there aren't many of these types of services for them, but to be able to provide this type of service free of charge to families who otherwise would not have access to this type of counseling. Roz, could you provide us with some numbers as to
Absolutely.
how many children we serve a year?
Absolutely. Every year we serve over 200 children, and we also counsel family members, supportive family members. So we see close to 400 clients a year just in our counseling program. And Jen made a good point that these services are provided free of charge because we want to eliminate barriers to accessing quality therapeutic services. And that's why fundraisers like the one we're having now are so important, because they provide the funding that enable us to provide these services seamlessly throughout the year without interruption.
That's fantastic. I'm speaking with Roz and Jennifer of PEI Kids, representing PEI Kids tonight on the Trenton 365 show. We'll be back after a very short break.
Thank you.
This is the sound of a large Coke at McDonald's. And that is the sound of our straw going into the Coke. And now that any size Coke is only $1 all summer long, this is the sound of someone taking a long sip. And if you think that sounds good, how about any small McDonald's smoothie, frappe, or shake for $2? Now top that. Ooh, whipped topping, only at McDonald's. A la carte only. Limited time offer at participating McDonald's. Cannot be combined with any other offer or any combo meal.
In Philly, we have our own way of speaking.
Yo, dude, play that John I like.
We also have our own way of speaking breakfast, like fresh cracked egg, grilled sausage, sizzling bacon, and fresh coffee. And if you're from here, you know exactly where the locals go to find it. McDonald's.
McDonald's? That's my John right there.
Get two of your favorites from the McDonald's McPick 2 menu for only $4, like an Egg McMuffin or savory sausage McMuffin with egg.
Man, you definitely speaking my language.
Prices and participation may vary. Price of single item posted on menu board.
Show. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You can send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter @Trenton365. You're listening and watching the show every Tuesday night from approximately 8 to 9 p.m. over WIMG 1300, streaming over the website as well, WIMG1300.com, and on Facebook and Twitter, WIMG1300. As you can see in front of me, WIMG has done it again 3 times in a row. We've won the Stellar Award for the small market representing Trenton, New Jersey. So check out Stellar Awards, just doing an internet search, and soon you'll be able to actually see the video of our studio people gathering and receiving the award. In the studio with me is Roz and Jennifer from PEI Kids, and we're talking not only about the organization, the nonprofit organization that is a child violence prevention. There's a bunch of other anecdotes that we could add to that, but we're also talking about the fundraisers. We have a spring fundraiser that's happening at the end of the year in April, and then in the fall there's a wine tasting event that takes place as well. Now, I do want to share a little bit about my relationship with PEI Kids.
Sure.
The previous professional development person, Jesse Elliott, is a friend of mine and turned me on to the organization a few years ago, and I was like blown away by it. I was like, I can't believe I've grown up in this community and I've never even heard about this organization. And he said, hey, why don't you come and be a part of some of the fundraising events that we're doing?
Right.
And so I jumped on board to help out. So there's sponsorship opportunities and packages for people who are available. And again, in this region, although Mercer County is a very wealthy community, one of the wealthiest counties in the country, there's a lot of nonprofits who are doing work, and it just works out calendar-wise where everyone's looking for money about the same exact time. But I can tell you that this organization, I've been involved with it for multiple years and multiple events, and it's a fantastic time. And it's not just geared towards raising money and trying to get money to fund programs or pay salaries or those things. They're important, but that's not what the end-all, be-all is. And there's sponsorship packages that are available, literally running from $500 up to $10,000. And I encourage you to check out the website, peikids.org, and there you can sign up for those things, and you can look at some of the different options. And there's always an opportunity for you to get involved as a volunteer throughout the year. And it's not that you just have to be involved in sponsoring during these two events. If you want to come along and you have an opportunity to transfer some funds or some time, talent, or treasures, you can always do that as well, because organizations like PEI Kids don't just function twice a year. It's an ongoing event, and when ones have a sustained 30-plus year track record, you know that there's something good that's going on there, and it's an opportunity for you to get involved. And if you're someone who lives in this region, it behooves you to do whatever you can with whatever you have to make the community better for everyone, because that's what's going to help us all thrive and be better. So earlier, Roz, you were going into detail talking about some of the other programming, and it was the Juvenile Justice Program. Now, what are some of the other programs that PEI Kids offers?
So a couple other programs we have, and this is actually the original program that we launched the agency with, our Prevention Education Program. So through that program, we actually reach more children than any other. We see 10,000 children a year throughout Mercer County in their schools, in their classrooms. So we go into a setting where they're comfortable, that they know, and we present prevention education workshops that run from 1 to 3 days. And in those workshops, we teach children how to stay safe, how to recognize unsafe situations, whether it's peer assault or bullying, whether it's assault by a stranger, or assault by a known person or a family member, which is usually, in many cases, sexual assault or child abuse. So we teach children to recognize those the dangerous scenarios by teaching them some very basic and empowering principles. And it is that every child has the right to be safe, strong, and free. What I love about our program is that it's not something that we just go in and present to first graders or that we just present to third graders. It's for K through 8. So we're often seeing children throughout their elementary school education. So this kind of prevention education programming becomes core to their elementary education, and that's what we want it to be. You know, we want it to be instinctive for these children to understand that they have rights and that they can't be violated. So that's one of my favorite programs, because really prevention is the best thing we can do. Ideally, we would do our prevention so well that we won't need the intervention programs, but unfortunately, there is still a need for them. But that's the program where we actually see most children. Like I said, 10,000 children and over 1,000 adults that we train through the school-based program. And then finally, the other program we have is support services, and we do that in coordination with the state Division of Child Permanency and Protection, DCP&P, formerly DIFAS. So children who've been removed from the home and who are in foster care need some consistency in their lives, and we provide that by providing a safe, nurturing environment where they can come and meet with their biological family members. Typically, it's once a week for 1 to 2 hours. And that does a couple things. Often families are just going through a tough time and they couldn't pay the light bill, and someone called and they lost their kids because they had no power in the house. But it gives parents an opportunity to get on their feet and demonstrate their parenting abilities. It also keeps that family connection and that family bond strong, because the ultimate goal is reunification. Kids want to be with their families and families want to be with their kids. So we work with children and families in foster care to help make that possible. So that's our support services program, and as part of that, we also provide transportation so that we can get kids to their visits and their doctor's appointments, and even when they have to come for counseling for our child sexual abuse program, we provide transportation, and we provide over 44,000 miles of transportation a year to Mercer County children and families.
Did you say 40,000?
44,000. So it keeps us busy. It's interesting, you mentioned that you hadn't heard of PEI Kids and you grew up in this community. You know, most people and most families don't know about PEI Kids until there's a real problem in their lives. So, you know, that's one of the challenges we have as an organization, is that most people, if things are going well, you never hear about PEI Kids. But when you have a child who's going through the juvenile justice system and they need a community-based program just to help them get on their feet and turn their lives around, or if you have a child who's been victimized by sexual abuse and they need some place to go, PEI Kids is the only agency in this community and in this county offering those kinds of programs. So the challenges that many don't know about so that's what makes the fundraising and the outreach for donor support a challenge, because we don't have the name recognition. But folks who have had troubling times or have had to get through some challenges in their lives really appreciate us for being there and for being a resource in the community.
That's fantastic. And I think this is a perfect segue to you, Jennifer, to talk a little bit about the spring event that is coming up and you being the co-chair.
Well, before we get into that, I think Roz made some very good points
thanks.
with regards to, in keeping families together. And also, it is a challenge with this type of organization because this is not an easy topic to talk about.
Right.
So when you're going out there and you're soliciting and you're asking for sponsorship and you're telling them about the programs that you offer, some people are hands off. So it is a challenge, but I think that everyone involved in this organization is up to the challenge because they recognize that there is a need for it, and additionally that they see how these children are benefiting from what's being provided, the services being provided to them. So, like I said, it's very near and dear to my heart, and anything that can help advance these children who have been through so much and keep families together, it's just, why wouldn't you want to support an organization like that? Keeping families together is just, it's amazing. I
want to jump in there and say, folks, that was a perfect mic drop opportunity. Jennifer, put a drop and sit him out. I'm done. And that's one of the things that I love about live radio and pseudo live television is that, when someone's passionate about something and they're on my show, they get that opportunity to let it out. And I'm glad you did that because I think, just like I grew up in this area and didn't know about this for whatever reason, whether the organization, I was not part of the demographic to be touched by this organization, or like you so eloquently put, some places and organizations are, hey, that's a subject that I do not want to even be associated with, etc. But at least now we can say that we're getting these opportunities. We're taking down some of those barriers. We're opening up the opportunities for people to discuss this and have those conversations, which is what this is all about.
Absolutely. No, not at all. So additionally, I just want to say, so the passion you see that's exuded by me is also the passion that's exuded by the people that work for this organization, whether it be paid employees or volunteers. That's what's so fantastic about this. We meet as part of this dinner committee every Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. People are coming in after work. They are devoting their time. We also, as a family, I bring my children in. They volunteer, and it's important for them to give back as well. We all have a duty to give back to our communities and to help and just, as families, keep these families together. So I'm going to use that to segue into the annual dinner, which will take place on April 28th. Friday at Green Acres Country Club from 5:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. As the co-chair of this organization, I am very excited about some of the auction items for the silent auction and for the live auction. Designer handbags, trips, to the Gables Inn.
Yes, at Long Beach Island.
Long Beach Island, and some other priceless experiences as well. So it's really exciting because you get a group of over 150 people in a room, and just the live auction and the auctioneers, just everyone going back and forth bidding. It's really nice. Phillies tickets. Yes. A club box for the Trenton Thunder. Very good items. So we were just talking about that tonight at our committee dinner, and it's just amazing how you can get people to donate and help to raise funds for such a wonderful organization. So we're really excited about it.
Now we've got just a couple minutes before we're up on a break, but I'd like for you to share some more details about the actual dinner event, cost of tickets, etc. And folks, Green Acres Country Club, which has been here for, I can't even imagine how many years it's been in this area. It's a wonderful facility. The staff is very nice. The food is very good. It's a nice opportunity for you if that is not normally your bigger recreational space. It's a nice opportunity to go to and experience the country club life or that area. And can you share some details about the cost of the event, et cetera?
Certainly. The tickets are $150 a piece. Again, it's from 5:30 to 9 p.m. You have a full dinner, salad. And Roz, can you tell us about the selections this year?
Absolutely. So from 5:30 to 7 is the cocktail hour, where we'll have past hors d'oeuvres, hot hors d'oeuvres. We'll have a bar with wine and beer free for the cocktail hour. And then, of course, you can purchase mixed drinks as well. And during that time, we'll have our silent auction. I do want to take a moment to talk about some of the phenomenal and truly priceless live auction items, which
I'm going to interrupt you and say,
after.
hang on to that, because we're going to come back after the break and not give you, not interrupt you. Folks, you're listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, and I'm with Roz and Jennifer of the organization PEI Kids. The website is peikids.org, and there you can find out a lot about the history of the organization, programs and services that are offered, and what we're talking about tonight, the annual dinner that's coming up April 28th, Friday, April 28th. We'll be back after a short break. You're listening and watching the Trenton 365 show.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man!
No, sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them, like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org/AZ. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You have a car or truck you really love? I have one exactly like it. If anything happened to my baby, like a blown engine, a failed transmission, or the AC went out, I don't know what I'd do or how I'd pay for it. Well, I just learned about coverage you can get for those unexpected budget-breaking auto repairs. This coverage is the most affordable, complete car repair coverage, and it's month to month. They can save you thousands of dollars. Monthly auto protection is for car owners just like us. Our cars are 3 to 10 years old and have less than 125,000 miles on them. Monthly auto protection is so confident you'll benefit from your coverage. If you call now, they're offering this 6-month free. For a limited time, that's right, the 6-month is free. Call right now for this radio-only, risk-free offer. 800-706-7063, 800-706-7063, 800-706-7063, 800-706-7063.
Need a truck to move? Let Justin's Rental of Selman's Eagle save the day. Justin's has the right trucks for all commercial and residential moves. Justin's has the moving supplies and boxes available. Justin's Rental at Selman's Eagle has everything you need for your move at affordable prices, featuring the best in pickup trucks, 10 and 15-foot box trucks, and vans. Justin's Rental at Selman's Eagle is located at 2596 South Broad Street, across from the McDonald's in Hamilton. For all your rental truck needs, call 609-888-3327. That's 609-888-3327.